Welcome back, folks, to more Let's Play Pokemon Crystal. No Pokecenters, no Pokemarts. In our last episode, we got quite a bit of stuff done as far as levels are concerned. Eevee got to level 26, and unfortunately we had to bid adieu to Makar. He evolved into a Graveler, and he certainly helped Eevee get up there in levels, but unfortunately his services were just no longer needed for our party. I need the space in my party more so than anything, and so something had to go. Chinchou is still very much of use for me, at least for some upcoming stuff, and for that reason, I simply needed the space in my party just to make sure that we could proceed in the game, so Makar had to go. I greatly appreciate his services, and he certainly did a lot of work for us, but it was just his time, and unfortunately he just won't be able to finish the journey with us. We do, however, still have Kote, Xerxes, and Malk, Dom, and Spencer down here as valuable members for our party and ways to proceed forward. And the thing is, with Kote, Xerxes, and Malk at where they're currently at, I simply need them to be further up in levels, and they currently aren't. So we need to still do some more training, and they need to get the levels, because in order to proceed further on in this game, I need Eevee especially to reach level 36. Maybe not necessarily as an Eevee, as you may soon find out, but for everyone else, especially Quilava, Nidoking, they all need to gain a certain amount of levels before I can really feel safe in proceeding. So, anyways, we're looking for specifically level 14 Stantlers this time. I can't afford to face any more. What do you call it? Ariados, because I don't want to risk getting poisoned anymore, and I don't think level 14 Stantlers can put us to sleep, so that's great for us. And Sudowoodo should easily be able to one-hit KO these Stantlers without too much trouble. Now, since he does have a super effective move in Low Kick, and Stantlers and Sudowoodo generally has a decently high attack, so I'm going to take advantage of that as much as I can right here. Unfortunately, we are going to take some damage with Sudowoodo, which does kind of stink, but we're just going to have to accept it and deal with it however it comes. Unfortunately, we do take a bit of... Unfortunately, that Stantler doesn't flat out die, which I much rather would have preferred it to do. And we are going to have to use an extra move, so I feel that Flail is probably the best move for us. I don't want to risk missing with Rock Throw, and I don't want to waste a Low Kick, because Low Kick's probably our best shot at killing those Stantlers. So, that's my decision, and that's what we're going to go with. Fighting Noctowl could be nice, but I simply just don't want to deal with it at this time. But anyways, we're just going to proceed forward. Another level 14 Stantler appears, and we should be able to deal with that nicely. It's doing quite a bit of damage with those tackles there, and that one is a critical hit, so that definitely hurts us. And we fail to get KO, so this Stantler is just being a pain right now. Certainly not a fan of that. And let me just take a look here for a second. We do have 5 berries, and we do have 4 super potions. I think we used up our energy powder or something like that last time, so or one of the previous episodes, so I feel kind of content in throwing a super potion onto Sudowoodo if necessary. He is pretty low there, and I do want to make sure that Eevee still gets up in levels here, so I kind of want to throw a super potion on there just because. So if this Sudowoodo doesn't kill us, which I hope it doesn't, I feel like I am going to throw that extra super potion on there. So hopefully we get the KO here, which we do, which is great. We gain a little extra bit of experience, and I am going to use a super potion on Sudowoodo, just because he still has a ton of PP and a ton of utility remaining, so I want to make full use of that while we can. Meanwhile, there's a couple more Stantlers that are in our way, so we're going to try and finish those off as we can. And once again, Sudowoodo isn't KOing, so I need him to either gain a level or something, because wasting all this extra experience is just not something I'm looking forward to in this run. I want to be as efficient as possible, and right now these Stantlers just aren't pulling up their weight. Here we go with another Stantler though, however, and I think it's the fact that some of these are male, and so they have higher DVs, as I had mentioned previously. Like, that one's doing 3 points of damage with its tackles. It's certainly not dying, which it should be, and that's just not being very efficient in our runs. So, like I said, there's probably a better way of going about gaining levels than this fashion, but this is simply just one of the ways I've decided to do it. Luckily we dodge a Leer there, which is great. Or maybe that one is doing 3 damage because it hit us with a Leer first, and unfortunately I used Flail there first by accident, so definitely a waste of a PP there. Certainly don't do that if you're following this guide by any, or my run by any means. But anyways, we are going to proceed here. Hopefully not take too much damage now that we've gained some levels, or gained a level. And hopefully this Lil Kick can start one-hit KOing these Stantlers, which it doesn't. My goodness. Sudowoodo, or Dom, or whoever you are, just start killing things, please. So, there we go. Another Eevee down and another Stantler appears, so I feel content. We should be able to clean this one out nicely, and hopefully we get a one-hit KO finally. Come on. One-hit KO. Which it does, great. So, maybe that Stantler had low DVs and defense and HP. And since this one is level 16, I'm not going to face it. Level 16 Stantlers pose the threat of Hypnosis, and I simply just don't want to deal with that. So, that's why we're avoiding it for now, and we're going to make full use of Dom here with his low kicks, which need to start killing things. Dom, your attack sucks, Dom. You seriously need to beef up in your DVs here. Maybe start giving you some proteins or something, because seriously, it's pathetic at this point. I failed to KO so many of these Stantlers that I don't know if it was really worth it even catching you. So at least you got a one-hit KO on that one, so that was pretty decent. And let's just see where Eevee is right now. He's level 27. He's pretty close to level 28, so he's not doing too bad. I feel like we should be able to at least get him to level 28 with what Sudowoodo has remaining here. And I'm glad that Sudowoodo got that one-hit KO on low kick, because we already had 2 Leers thrown on us. And so those tackles were going to start doing a fair chunk of damage to Sudowoodo regardless. So, here we go. Hope for the KO with low kick. And yeah, I definitely noticed there that when the Leer is used on me, that's when I start taking that 3 points of damage. So normally it is only 2 points of damage if it doesn't land a Leer. So there's something for you guys to learn, and something for you guys to take note of in the future. So there you go, it's only doing 2 damage because it hasn't gotten a Leer, and I accidentally clicked Flail, so that's fantastic. The good thing is Sudowoodo is at a fairly low amount of HP, therefore Flail did do quite a chunk of damage there. There goes a Leer, and hopefully he loses Leer twice, which it does, and hopefully low kick kills, which it doesn't. Seriously, Dom, you need to start killing things. This absolutely a joke. And we keep running into level 16 Stantlers, which is not what we want. We want level 14s, like I mentioned earlier, and here's another one, so we can definitely face that. Hopefully now that Dom is level 22, he will start one-hit KOing these Stantlers without too much trouble. There is a one-hit KO, which is nice. Eevee grows to level 28, which is fantastic, and we can proceed forward here. So, Dom unfortunately is very close to dying though, so I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to withstand stuff. Hopefully we can find a way of healing him, which would be great, because he certainly still has a lot of utility remaining, and I don't want to give him up that easily. So we're going to throw a low kick in this face, and we miss with low kick, which is unfortunate, but the good thing is Stantler didn't want to attack us, and we still get it off without taking damage, so that's nice. We had 3 Leers on us, so anything of that damaged us there was definitely going to do a fair chunk. So here we go. Sudowoodo is getting pretty low on HP, as I mentioned, though. He is now at 15 HP, and dropping down to 13 with a crit there. So that's slightly unfortunate for us, but that's all of our uses of low kick used up. So for now, Eevee's probably going to be on his own in terms of dealing damage and finishing things off. So let's just take a look here. Eevee is at 34 HP, so he's at a fair chunk where I feel content to go face things with Eevee. Xerxes, of course, can still make use of whatever he's got here. So I think I can go face at least a couple of these trainers. Maybe not this guy right here, but there is a girl up here that I do feel content in facing. She's got some Pokemon that are weak to some of the stuff that we've got, so I feel content in facing her. Flaffy, for instance, is weak to ground moves, of course, because it's electric typing. Therefore, Kolava can probably go to work here, and hopefully one-hit KO with Dig. That would be great, and it doesn't, which is fantastic. So, Flaffy unfortunately gets a Thunder Shock off, and Xerxes takes a fair bit of damage because of that crit, which is really annoying. So, Xerxes almost died there, and that was definitely not a risk I was planning on taking. For that reason, we're going to want to switch out to Eevee here, and hopefully do a fair chunk of damage with our quick attack here. Looks to be a 2-hit KO, which is great, and because Tackle's not too much weaker than quick attack, I feel content in using Tackle to hopefully finish it off. And of course we miss, which means because of that tail whip, we're going to be taking extra damage from that scratch, which really sucks. And like, I don't know if things could be going any more wrong at this point, because Eevee certainly needs to be gaining those levels, but I don't want it to be taking that additional damage, which it has been. So we need to hopefully dodge this trainer here, which we do. And I feel content in trying to face this guy here. He's got 2 Slowpokes, both which pose a decent threat if I don't one-hit KO. And I had Xerxes out first, didn't I? So that's all kinds of wonderful for me. We're certainly going to have to hope for the best with this move here. I'm going to switch to Eevee, hope to not take too much damage. We take 5 points from Water Gun, which is slightly unfortunate, but I do have healing items, so I'm not too worried about it. We do split the HP, of course, which isn't something I was looking forward to. And now we have to face a slightly higher level Slowpoke, which is level 20 now. So hopefully Eevee can get the one-hit KO. If not, it should be a 2-hit KO at worst. So I just failed to get the KO there, and he fires back with a really painful body slam, which luckily doesn't paralyze us, because that could definitely be a little bit of put us in a little bit of a bind. So Eevee's now at a point where he's dangerously close to dying, so I want to throw on the Super Potion there, just to be safe. And from here it's starting to look a little dicey. I need to definitely be a little bit more cautious with our HP and with all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to want to start playing things a little bit more safe. As such, I think we're going to try and maintain our usage of Eevee here and see what Eevee can do to effectively take on some things here. So, I certainly don't feel like that route is probably the best thing. This route is necessarily the best thing for us to be fighting things with. And of course, I still have Xerxes at the front of the party, risking near death. And are you kidding me? I just noticed I used a Super Potion on Xerxes instead of Eevee, so that's certainly not something I wanted to do right there, at least. I would certainly rather hold on to that until later. And so I'm now down to 1 Super Potion, and certainly getting a little dicey with things. So, just to be on the safe side of things, let me just check Eevee's experience. He's got 100 left, and I think there's just a couple trainers that we can still have left to face, at least in this these close regions. So for now, I'm going to try and train on some things that I know Eevee can one-shot. I definitely want to be a little bit more cautious with what I'm fighting, and not be taking too much damage, considering our healing options are getting kind of low right now. At least for HP restorative properties, that is. I don't have too many revives either, so it's certainly getting a little dicey. There's some trainers in here that I could face, but for the time being I'm going to hold off, just for the reason that there are some ways of healing later on that I can take advantage of. This Drowsy, of course, I can definitely take on though as Eevee, and one Shadow Ball should be easily able to one-hit KO, so I'll take that, and I'll see what I can KO with tackles more so than Shadow Balls. But if Shadow Ball is going to be killing things, I may as well take advantage of that fact. I'm going to try and KO this Hoot Hoot, however. If we get put to sleep, that's kind of bad for us. So, I'm hoping for the best with this. I'm hoping for one-hit KO, which it does, so that's nice. It's nice to know that Tackle is able to one-hit KO those Hoot Hoots. So, I am going to take advantage of that while I can, try and gain Eevee some extra levels here. We do encounter a Psyduck, and hopefully, because I did kill that trainer's Pokemon relatively easily, this Quick Attack should be able to do a fair chunk to this Psyduck, and it does, so that's a one-hit KO as well. I don't mind using these Quick Attacks and Tackles if it means that I'm going to be gaining some additional experience with Eevee, because Eevee needs to level up, and we need to get Eevee to level up, so that's what we're going to do, and that's how I'm going to proceed. So from here, Eevee does get to level 29, and level 29 is pretty much a very crucial level for us. There's some moves that I'm going to be learning in one level, essentially, that I certainly want to take advantage of. So from here, I only want to use tackles to get Eevee experience, and I just want to make sure that Eevee doesn't level up too prematurely here. I'm going to hope that Tackle can one-hit KO this Drowsy. However, I just don't feel safe in using it, so I'm going to opt to use Tackle there and hope for the best. Hopefully the Tackle KOs the Psyduck, which it does. And like I said, I want to make use of Tackle before anything else, as I need 2 move slots to make sure that Eevee can best proceed through this game. So here we go. We have, oh, unfortunately that Tackle didn't one-hit KO that Psyduck, which is a bit of a pain. So we had to use 2. I'm lucky that none of these Tackles are really missing, which is great, but unfortunately we do take a bit of damage from Scratch there, because that Tackle also didn't one-hit KO that Psyduck. So, we're almost out of Tackles here. We're almost out of Shadow Balls, which is slightly unfortunate. But, like I said, getting rid of Tackle is my #1 priority in this point. So, the sooner we can do that, the better. So there we go. We've gotten rid of our Tackles. Eevee is almost leveled up. And so, what I want to do now, before we level up, and before it gets too late, is I need to make sure that it's daytime for a very specific reason. So you guys will no doubt find out what that reason is in probably just a couple minutes. So in order to do that, I'm going to make it daytime, and I'm going to start biking, because I need to get Eevee's happiness boosted up to where it's max happiness for a very specific part coming up. So just bear with me, folks, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Welcome back, folks, and as you can see, it is now daytime. So in order to get Eevee's happiness boosted up, I want to hop on the bicycle, because if you hop on your bicycle and you make use of it as sorry. Okay. Anyways, if you hop on your bicycle, you're basically gaining steps a lot faster than you normally would, and for that reason, I want to use basically the bicycle as a means of gaining Eevee's happiness at a relatively faster pace. Basically, if this was real time, it would just take me a little bit longer with the bicycle, but that's basically what I would be doing anyways. So here we go, we're riding our bicycle, and there's a very easy way of checking happiness in this game. So all you have to do is have your Pokemon as the first slot in your party, and from there you can talk to one of the a girl in Goldenrod, who will tell you what your Pokemon is feeling towards you. So we're gonna go do that now, and I think it's just over here inside this house here. So you want to talk to this girl here, and she says, if you treat your Pokemon nicely, they will love you in return. So she's going to see your Eevee, and she says it's quite cute. So that's not quite where we want to be. We want to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to hop back on the bicycle here, and I guess I may as well register the bicycle so that it's easier when we enter and leave buildings. So for now, at least for the next couple minutes, I'm just going to be riding my bicycle as fast as I can, gaining those steps. This is probably the longest route you can do it on, with since this is near the daycare, that's usually how it goes. The route closest to the daycare is probably the fastest in terms of gaining steps in a single push of a button. Nevertheless, like I said, I need Eevee's happiness to be max or almost close to max in order to put Eevee towards its next evolution, or towards only evolution, because it needs to be max happiness and it needs to be daytime. So you guys can probably assume based on that what Eevee is going to be evolving into, considering I haven't picked up any stones and it's not nighttime. So there's only 5 Eevee evolutions in this gen, and that pretty much narrows it down to 1. So I don't want to spoil anything for those of you who don't know, but essentially what I've just said there will pretty much reveal it. So here we go. We're just going to continue on here. Hopefully Eevee will finally like me after this. So we're going to go check, let's go check the girl right now, see where we're at. Hopefully that puts us to a decent chunk of experience, or a chunk of happiness. So she's going to check our Eevee, and it's friendly towards you. It looks sort of happy, so that's not quite where we want it to be. We certainly want it to be at least a little bit higher than that. So unfortunately, these last few minutes are just basically me trying to get Eevee up to where it needs to be to evolve. But once we do that, a world of doors open up to us in terms of training opportunities goes. So that's what we want to do. So here we go, still training, or still trying to level up here, in happiness that is. And Eevee does have enough PP remaining to where it should be easily able to level up once we get max happiness. But we don't want to do it a moment before or a moment after. Otherwise, we miss out on some very crucial moves for Eevee. So, here we go. Come on, Eevee, you just need to gain a little bit more happiness here. If only you liked me a little bit more. The thing is, if this were Heart Gold or Diamond or one of the later gens, it'd be so much easier to check happiness. There's like a happiness checker. In Heart Gold, you could just have Eevee at the front of your party and talk to it, and it would basically give you an indication of where it's standing. But yeah, for this, we basically just have to hop on our bike, ride around for a bit, and hope for the best, at least in terms of knowing where we're at. So hopefully this won't take us too long. It should take us just a couple minutes at least. At least with the speed up button in hand. It takes a lot longer when you don't have the speed up button. So just be glad that I do have the speed up button available to me, and we're able to get through this with relative ease. And that's just a little bit longer, and we'll go check again to see where we're at. So here we go. I suppose I could probably cut this out for your guys' sake, but I just wanted to be entirely legit as far as recording goes. And it looks like Eevee is still not gaining happiness as fast as I would like it to, so we're gonna hop back on the bike and keep going here. And unfortunately, like hopefully you guys are enjoying this. It's not really the most interesting of parts, so if you want to skip me training at happiness, feel free to skip ahead in the video just a bit, at least until I get to max happiness. This is basically all I will be doing, at least for the next few minutes or so, until Eevee starts to actually like us. Maybe, you know, we've been riding around for it for a couple episodes for now. We've been on our bike for quite a while here, and Eevee just seems to not want to take a liking to us, so hopefully it finally can here. Kote, come on, you gotta start being a little more friendly. Because I certainly want Eevee to evolve in this episode. I don't want to wait another episode, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting, because really I want to progress in this LP as much as you guys want me to. Because, like I said, I find grinding just as boring as you guys do, so hopefully I can resolve that without too much trouble here, and we can get through this next section of the game relatively quick. I certainly need Eevee to still get to level 36, but evolving it at level 30 is essentially the main focus that I'm looking at right now. So it's been quite a bit of time there, at least another 2 minutes of grinding, or 2 minutes of happiness grinding, I guess you would call this. So let's go check on Eevee again. Come on, be happy, be happy. If you treat your Pokemon, it's friendly. Come on, Eevee. So, you know what? Like I said, if you really want to skip this, go ahead. But for those of you who are sticking around, I'll continue to talk because whatever. You chose to stick around. You chose to listen to me fumble through words because that's just how I talk these days. You know, come on. Anyways, Eevee really needs to start liking us, and obviously, actually, what day is it? It's Tuesday, so I'm gonna go check the underground for a second to see if I can be a little bit more efficient in this. Let's go see if one of the Haircut Brothers is here. Is this guy Haircut Brother? No. I can make your Pokemon beautiful for just $500 because we're not spending any money in this run. Unfortunately, I can't abuse that Haircut Brother. I thought it was for free. Unfortunately, it's not. So it would have been nice to do that, but that's just not the case. So here we go, skipping it a little bit ahead. And like I said, this episode is running a little bit longer than I was hoping for, simply because Eevee doesn't want to start liking us as quickly as I was hoping it would. Obviously, the Haircut Brother would help us a ton, as it would save me quite a bit in gaining Eevee's happiness, but because we aren't allowed to spend money in this run, it's just more time consumption than anything in terms of getting Eevee to a point where I need him to be. So here we go, we're going to keep on trucking here, running around as much as we can. And hopefully after this section of running, I'm going to wait until, I'm going to say at least 30 more seconds from here until we go check it again. So we're going to do solid running. Let's see what we can do here. Come on. Hopefully Eevee likes us after this and we can go level up and all that good stuff will commence. But for now it all depends on what Eevee's feeling. Eevee maybe is a little moody today, so we'll see. I'm so thankful that we do have the speed up button though, as this would be such a pain for you guys and such a pain for me if we didn't. It would just, these episodes would be a lot longer without the speed up button, at least I'm sure of it. And that's certainly something you guys probably wouldn't be in favor of, at least in terms of the fact that it would just basically be more grinding than anything. So here we go, speeding things up, and I went a lot more than 30 seconds like I said I was going to, so here we go. We're going to look in the house. Hopefully Eevee is finally happy towards us, so let's see. Let me see your Eevee. I get the feeling that it really trusts you, so that's basically I think where I want it to be. We're going to hope for the best. I'm going to ride around on the bicycle for about 1 more minute just to be on the safe side. I really don't want to screw this this part up here, because if Eevee happens to not like us when we go to try this part out, there's no turning back. So here we go. I've got 40 more seconds to run, gain as much happiness on Eevee as possible, and we'll proceed forward with our game plan. It's almost up to, we're almost up to 30 minutes as far as the recording goes, or maybe, well, pretty close to 30 minutes at least for you guys. So hopefully Eevee will get evolved in this episode, and hopefully we can proceed with the next part with quite a dose of power as far as Eevee's next evolution is concerned, because once Eevee evolves, he gets a huge boost in stats. So let's go see if this girl says the same thing, just to be sure, see if she says anything different. You talk to Eevee and it says, I get the feeling that it really trusts you, so I feel content with that, and I'm going to do my best to see if Eevee will evolve in this part here. So here we go. We're going to walk in this grass, hopefully fight something without too much trouble. And it is a Snubble, and I feel Quick Attack should be able to KO that with ease, so there we go. I don't like Snubbles. Let's fight something a little bit stronger. Not that. Not that. Come on. Something decent. Stupid Snubble. Let's find something good. Not an Abra. Really? That's... Alright, fine. We're just gonna fight Snubbles. And I just wasted a Shadow Ball. Really? Eevee, you suck. Come on. I could probably fight those Growlithe as well, so if we find a Growlithe, I'm gonna try and quick attack that. If we find a Jigglypuff, so that's nice. They give us a lot more experience than Snubble would. I'm not gonna kill these Abras because they're a little bit weaker, or those Dittos, because they're weak too. And really? Come on. I guess it's gonna be a Snubble. So there we go. Eevee gains a level, and hopefully, if everything we just did works out, Eevee's going to evolve here. Of course, first of all, it's going to learn Bite, which is a special move in this gen, because Dark-type moves are all special in 2nd gen, even though Ghost-type is physical, so I don't know exactly how that works. Either way, we can get rid of Tail Whip very safely here, so we're going to throw on Bite there. And what is this? Yes, we did things exactly like I was hoping. So there we go, Eevee is evolving, and as you can see, Eevee is evolving into Espeon, which is exactly what we wanted it to be. And because it evolves at level 30, we get to take advantage of one thing in particular, which is additional usage of PP in the move Swift. So even though we already have a Swift TM, we get to teach Eevee Swift as a level up move, which is fantastic, so we get to keep our Swift TM, and Eevee has basically restored its PP. So it no longer has Shadow Balls because I decided to waste one there. So that's slightly unfortunate for us. However, in the long run of things, Eevee leveled up, and that's exactly what I was hoping for in this part. So, unfortunately this episode did run a little long because of that, but hopefully, I think you guys can probably bear with me in the fact that we did finally get Espeon, which is what I was hoping to get done in this episode. And, unfortunately we still need to train up Malk at least for some upcoming stuff, and we do need to get Eevee to level 36 as well. But in the long run of things, getting Eevee to level 30 there was especially important, and I'm very thankful that we were able to get all that stuff done in this part. So it was a bit long, and hopefully you guys can bear with me at least for that. But I am very thankful of all the stuff that we did get done in this part. So it's been great, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.